I'm going to try to keep this one pretty brief. Last night I did a whole video series on what Wicca is and what Wicca is not. And I really tried to establish that the religion of Wicca, even though it really is a recreation of ancient witch cults, and that in the way that Jarrell Gardner and Aleister Crowley set it up, that it was a half-baked finish, that it can really be created and reworked into being a very powerful religious experience and expression. And I also wanted to talk about how it still fit within the terms of Kabbalistic magic, because in the way that the old witch cults did it, they really did believe that you traveled to different realms, not necessarily purely elemental realms, and the witch cults didn't necessarily have the idea of necessarily the four elements, but they did have different realms of experiential and astral constructs and locations, and they definitely did have spirits. They definitely did have a hierarchy of gods and goddesses. So it still fits in the formulation that we can use it as a template and then pull from what is legitimately the old witch cults of Europe and make a very functional religion that stays very true to what for those of us who are of European descent, of what our ancestors truly believed. So, keeping away from Wicca right now, someone really pressed me about if our magical order, because it's based a lot in Kabbalistic and ceremonial magic, if that has no higher purpose and it is just simply a magical practice with no religion. It can be done both ways, but I do want to tell you that from my own personal standpoint, ceremonial magic has very much become a religious experience for me because of some things that I have learned that are really kind of kept secret, and because we used to be a secret society and we've decided to come forward, and we believe that at some point people need to begin receiving the truth and learning and developing themselves, because these secret societies have truly kept these things from the public, and it's time to begin releasing them back, because our evolution as humans will depend on us moving past the slave religions of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, and getting through this idea of what New Age is, because New Age neo-paganism is basically a giant empty pit. So we need to get back to the true original concepts before the secret societies decided to infiltrate them all and keep it all for themselves. Ceremonial magic comes from largely Kabbalistic practice. Although it changes from era to era, there is always going to be the universal life tree principles. It's always going to be well rooted within the study of astrology, and its primary focus is summoning spirits, visiting other realms, and learning how to communicate and find entities that will do your bidding and also teach you. If you want to keep it just as a sort of selfish spiritual practice of summoning spirits, forcing them to do your will, protecting yourself behind a magical circle, and then banishing them when when you're done, and then keeping talismans on you to make sure they can't come back for retribution, you can do that, and many sorcerers have. And you know, the tales of sorcerers being carried away kicking and screaming may not be completely untrue, seeing as though that they had spent, you know, a couple decades pissing off very powerful spirits who were just waiting for a moment of weakness. You can do Kabbalistic magic like that. And in fact, most of the Kabbalistic magic that's out there that has been corrupted and infiltrated by the Illuminati is Kabbalistic magic just like that. In fact, I can find very few books, even the ones that we have written that are copies of books from the 1700s, that don't in some way really do exonerate that type of ceremonial magic. However, there is a true religion within ceremonial magic, and this is how I justify it. When it is time for me to be a priest king within the bounds and religions of Wicca, that's what I am. When it is time for me to stand and be a magician in the art of high magic, that's what I do. I don't necessarily see being one or the other as a problem. I just don't mix the two. Both are very pure unto themselves. They aren't contaminated by each other. And I can do something within the mode of one that is better suited than the other. So I think a lot of people want to start mixing and becoming overtly eclectic, and that just kind of fucks everything up. So in keeping with the true purity of what is the religion of ceremonial magic, we need to talk about kind of what I'm doing with these assuming of God forms, is the true magical function of ceremonial magic is to speak to as high an entity as possible, which in Kether it is going to probably be Metatron, and figuring out what is your great work upon this earth, and then communicating with a hierarchy of spirits that will enable you and help you to attain and achieve that great work. You are the magus making your great work a reality. You are the architect of the world. You are the architect of your great work. The old stories of masons creating beautiful cathedrals had a deeper meaning. You, as the architect of your great work, the great work is the cathedral. It is the kingdom of heaven built with hands of flesh. Fuck's sake, it's not that difficult. And that's really what it is. Okay? So, knowing that the true purpose of ceremonial magic is to attain to your highest potential, which is what the order has always talked about, as in discussing what prime creator, what God is, a being that contains your highest potential, because you are directly from that being, and you are becoming your highest potential in the worship of it. So in Kabbalistic magic, we don't worship Ammon, we don't worship Megatron, we don't worship Metatron, we don't worship Raphael, but we extol what they do, we learn their mysteries, and we develop personal relationships with them in order that we may attain to our highest genius and have our name written among the stars, which is meaning that we've accomplished our great work and that others can truly benefit from the work that we've done. That is the purpose of Kabbalistic magic. So, let me tell you a deep secret of Kabbalistic magic. When you stand inside the magic circle, you are God. You are prime creator on the microcosm. That is why, and here's the secret of angelic magic, and here's where we're going to go with it, because I'm going to also begin releasing a series on Kabbalistic angelic magic so people can really figure out what these angels are. Angels are the mechanisms of God. They were creations of God that form and do the function of God. So they are all the little, not little, but major counterparts and working parts and tools that God set into motion. Okay? And they serve God. When you are in the circle as God in microcosm, guess what? They serve you. So when I'm in the circle, Gabriel is my strength. When I am in the circle, Michael is who is like me, and he is my greatest defender. That's why you have the authority to call upon them when you are in the circle. That's why you have the authority to direct them and ask them to work for you. Well, I shouldn't say ask. You direct, but you have to direct the right angel to do the right thing. Or ask an angel which one is best suited. And you must also know that God was highly and is highly respectful to his angels. So you command, but you command as a kindly king would. These are very powerful things. So this is something I want people to start thinking about. Yes, I have written a ton of books. Yes, they've all been denied. But I have them, and I'm trying to sift through them, and I'm trying to get this information out there in the best way possible, because I want everyone to be able to read it and go, wow, that's what I'm missing. Or, that's something for me to think about. So it's difficult because so much that I do is so interconnected, but I keep things separate. But being part of this coven that I'm a part of, I have oaths of secrecy that I need to keep. Coming out in this secret society, I can release all the information of the secret society, but there is parts of it that are marred with the coven that I'm part of. That is also a Kabbalistic coven, interestingly enough. But I can keep Wicca separate from being works in like a high magus. It sounds a little but I do it. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to flesh out what is Wicca in the way that my coven practices it, and in the deep meaning religious way, and what is the powerful aspects of high magic that I also practice without all the Luciferian Illuminati bullshit that has been so mired and mucked up and absorbed that people can't necessarily tell the difference between Satanism, Kabbalist magic, ceremonial magic, and all the other types of hermetic magic that's out there. So this is part of my great work that I'm trying to do, and a great work is sometimes a lifetime work. So please be patient with me. Please understand that I'm really trying to do this, and that I'm doing it not to be the face of or a guru of. I'm just sharing what I know, so that one day I can look out and know that there's an army of awakened, magically powerful, physically powerful, freedom-loving, sacred beings, humans out there throwing off the shackles of slavery and reclaiming their essence of God in their own little microcircles, and commanding the forces of the universe to continue on with those beautiful concepts of freedom, and just kicking the shit out of these scaly, pedophilic fucks that have infiltrated all these secret societies and kept these secrets from themselves, knowing that there is a Qulat path and a Kabbalistic path, and confusing people into thinking that the Kabbalistic path is the Qualapian path. Okay? Time for that shit to end. And the best way I know how to do that is to release what a true secret society does and allow others to begin to assimilate those practices. But yes, attaining to your great work is the highest practice of Kabbalistic magic. And becoming God inside a circle is second to none in one of the most powerful, profound experiences you will ever have. So meditate on this picture. It's one of my favorites. I'll get some others. I'm in the process of writing a book called God Inside the Circle. Any helpful suggestions or any people that have a real knowledge about ebooks, that kind of thing, definitely contact me. I could definitely use your help. Alright, thanks. I will be back with a video probably sometime this week. Don't know when.